Okay. This is day 1 on Wellbutrin extended release medication. I wanted to make a video about medications that I've taken in the past, more recently, I guess. Or I guess I could kind of go over all of them. Because they're all kind of related to attempting to treat, past symptoms of ADHD and autism, both pre-diagnosis and post. A lot more post. Like, I was diagnosed a year ago, and most of the meds that I've tried have been like within this past year, or like right before, a couple months before, because that's when I started going through a really tough burnout, and that's kind of what led me to seek out the assessments. So I was kind of like, I think I was already on meds at the time, or maybe like right after that, but anyway. Yeah, I think we may have found the one that actually really helps. I honestly, I wasn't planning on making any kind of video talking about medication because I feel like it's such a like personal topic that's like, especially with neurodivergent medications, it's just so specific to your needs that I don't know how much, people would relate to, like, oh, well, I'm trying this one or I'm trying this medication, because everybody's kind of like, it depends on where you are in your life and like what kind of symptoms you're dealing with, and like if you're dealing, and because there's so many like comorbidities with neurodivergence, everybody is kind of doing their own thing as far, or even not taking medications and kind of doing other methods for managing your symptoms. So, yeah, I just never really thought to make a video about medications, although I do really have an interest in, like, the mechanisms of medications and kind of, like, how they work, especially to help neurodivergent symptoms. So, I guess I have kind of an interest in that, but I never really thought to make a video about it for those reasons. But yeah, day 1 today has been working really well for me, and I felt inspired to make a video talking about it. Maybe like documenting my journey of like, this is day 1, this is day 2, to kind of see how it's going. Did I already mention what it was? Yeah, I guess I did. Wellbutrin. I'm taking Wellbutrin extended release. That's the brand name. The generic name is bupropion. It is a NDRI, which is a norepinephrine and dopamine reuptake inhibitor, which is it's an antidepressant actually, but it is often used off-label for ADHD, and I can definitely see why. It's really helped with my symptom management, and before I was taking this, I had tried a variety of different, well, I guess really just 2 ADHD meds. One was a non-stimulant. I tried Strattera. The generic is atomoxetine. It's a non-stimulant that targets norepinephrine. I don't know exactly if it's if it like increases production or inhibits the reuptake. Maybe both, but it targets norepinephrine, which is the neurotransmitter that is like at play with like your fight, flight, or freeze response. Kind of like it helps to get your body to react or deal with a threat, so, or like a perceived threat. You like I think it like works with like your heart rate, your blood pressure, and things like that. So I tried that. I did that for like several months. It's selective norepinephrine. Oh, it is. I wrote it down. All right. It's an SNRI. It's a selective norepinephrine reuptake inhibitor. And I took that for several months. I actually started taking that one because I tried Adderall, like a low-dose Adderall, which is a stimulant, ADHD med. It's a central nervous system stimulant that increases both norepinephrine and dopamine, and also inhibits the reuptake of it. So it's much more of like a faster acting type of drug, which is why it's a stimulant. Although I guess you could also have like, I think there's like extended release ones too, but essentially it's like, it kind of works more like quickly, like quick onset. And yeah, I think the effect of it was it was very potent, even at a lower dose amount. I think I took like 7.5 milligrams. Yeah, I took it, I actually didn't have a prescription for it. I had, a friend had given me one, to try, and I wanted to try it because I wanted to know if I should get the ADHD assessment, because this was like right at the time when I was looking into doing the assessments, and it's a lot of money. So I knew I wanted to do the autism assessment, but I was a little unsure whether I wanted to do the ADHD one on top of that. So I had the idea of trying Adderall to see how it would affect me, to see, like, you know, if it gives the intended effect, perhaps I do have ADHD, and let's look into that. So that was my plan. I don't normally like take, you know, like other people's like prescription drugs if I'm not like taking them, but that was kind of my purpose behind it. So I took it, and it was like the calmest feeling. I just felt so grounded and like calm in my body. Some people describe Adderall as like putting on glasses for your brain. It kind of gives you this feeling of like, it's so much easier to kind of visualize and organize time in your mind, and like management of time, or like doing something that you're intending to do, and how to plan that in your head according to time. There's no like lag in doing something, like in your mind of like, okay, I'm intending to do the thing, you can just go and do it. There's no like mental lag of like getting stuck in like task overwhelm. It's like the task reduction executive function just like works so much fast. Like you can think through it a lot faster. That was like how I would describe it. So like the effect of it, like I wasn't using that energy to get stuck in like task overload, task overwhelm, to try to like manually reduce the task into something, and then like, you know, manage my time like that. It just like, I just could think through it so much faster. I could just like intend to do something, and then I could just go and do it. Like there was no like delay. So odd. It's so crazy how our brains work, isn't it? But yeah, that's what it, and the energy that I saved from not doing that is, I think, what helped me feel like really grounded. And I guess because it's like also like it's increasing like dopamine, and that kind of I guess affects your mood. But yeah, I just remember feeling so calm and so like grounded. But unfortunately, I couldn't take Adderall because the next day I noticed I had like numbness and tingling in my fingers and my thumb, or not my thumb, my fingers and my feet. Like kind of when I got up in the morning, I had like tingliness. So, and I looked into it, and it's like people have said like it can affect your circulation. So yeah, unfortunately, I couldn't keep taking that. I tried like taking less than that, like a very small amount to even see if I could manage to do that. But yeah, I think with autism, I've heard with other people with autism that um like our nervous systems just tend to be very sensitive to side effects. So yeah, I think the I never tried Vyvanse, but I didn't really want to because it's also a stimulant, and I just figured that I would have like circulation difficulties. And I know there's like Ritalin, which is another option, which it's classified as a stimulant, but technically I think it's like it actually operates like a NDRI, uh, norepinephrine dopamine reuptake inhibitor, but I guess maybe it, like the way that it operates, the effect that it has is like more similar to stimulant, so that's why it's classified like that. I'm not really sure, but I think my phone is dying. Actually, I might need to charge it. Okay, picking up where I left off. I just wanted to take a moment for myself. Also, my phone was dying, but it also worked out well because I realized that I was getting really uncomfortable on camera. It's been tough. Like, I haven't been making very many videos lately. Yeah, I don't know. I kind of ran out of steam, and I feel like the making videos on camera, there's so many things that I feel like I want to share and talk about, but it's been hard. I start getting really uncomfortable and nervous, I feel like. So I'm gonna try to be a little bit more unmasked, maybe, and not feel the need to like rehearse. Maybe stim a bit more. Yeah, so I was talking about what was I talking about? Strattera and Ritalin. I like wrote all this down, and I still can't like. I'm getting uncomfortable on camera. Yeah. Oh, I was talking about the side effects. Yeah. I think it's tricky um with ADHD. Maybe if you just have ADHD, you can maybe your body can tolerate taking stimulants, and that works well for you. But I don't know. I just feel like with if you have autism and ADHD, I think it's tough because I think autistic people tend to be very sensitive to drug side effects. Or at least I do, and I know other people have said the same thing, which makes sense. I mean, like we're so like kind of aware of our sensory input and very sensitive to that. That's kind of like what it is. Um that it makes sense that we would be a lot more sensitive to side effects and kind of notice those. Um, so yeah, I couldn't end up taking stimulants. And even the non-stimulant med that I tried for ADHD, I took it for several months, and I would describe the Strattera that I took, which targets norepinephrine, as kind of a it didn't really target it wasn't the same as like Adderall, where I was talking about like the like you I feel like with Adderall you could like think really quickly, kind of like there was no like delay in task reduction ability, because you can kind of like map out time and organize tasks in time in your head, like just so much more quickly. But with Strattera, it doesn't have that same effect because it just targets norepinephrine. And but I found that with that one, with Strattera, I found that it still helped, but in a different way. It kind of helped in the sense that like it made the threat of demands feel less threatening. So I guess what I mean by that is like the feeling of like being overwhelmed kind of feels similar to like when you're being threatened by something. Like it's just like this overwhelming feeling of like being stressed or like being threatened by something. But the Strattera kind of like gives you like a boost of that norepinephrine to, it kind of gives you more like an ability to meet that threat, like kind of like gives you more fight. I guess is the best way to describe it, because it kind of like activates that like fight response, like the fight or flight or freeze like response. It kind of like lifts that ability up, so you're kind of like dealing with the demands of life, but they don't feel quite as stressful or demanding or as overwhelming, I would say. So it kind of helped like it helped make demands feel less demanding, if that makes sense. Okay, I'm gonna take a second. I'm getting a little bit uncomfortable, but yeah, this is tough. This is hard. Maybe I need to stim a bit more. I really, really don't want to edit this out, because I feel like this is really kind of the purpose of my channel, like the videos that I want to make. I really don't want to edit out like my natural way of showing up. I want to show up more like just as myself, even if it's really uncomfortable or like inconvenient to watch as an audience member. Maybe it takes longer. You can fast forward through this if you want to, but I just feel like the kind of videos that I'm interested in creating are sort of unfiltered life as an autistic ADHD person. You know, it includes a lot of tangents. It includes a lot of moments of getting overstimulated and just needing to kind of decompress and take like a minute. And I think that's totally okay to just show that. And like, if you're not interested in watching that, then you're probably not the right person to be watching my channel anyway. So, and it just makes me feel better. So yeah, I guess that's kind of my overview of ADHD meds and why I felt like they weren't really working for me, because of the side effects. And then I started taking the Wellbutrin today, which is an antidepressant, which can be used off-label for ADHD stuff. But I found that the effect of it worked so well that, like, even if I didn't have the side effects from the ADHD meds, I think I would still choose to take the Wellbutrin, because it really helped with, it helped so much more with my mood. And, yeah, wow, this is really hard. Why is this so difficult? Okay, well, I guess we're not gonna do the video. It'll just be audio. But I really wanted to finish, I really want to try to finish this because I really want to capture how I talk about the effects of the medication on the actual first day that I'm taking it, because I feel like I will talk about it differently than if I talk about it on a different day, looking back at it. I want to do it like in real time. So, so this is how we're doing it. I'm accommodating myself. Yeah, most people would probably just scrap this video or just edit this out completely and try to get a clean video, but you know, that might work better for getting more, followers, but that's not really what I'm here for anyway. I don't really care at all, honestly, about that. I'm not trying to make a living doing YouTube videos, but it's kind of just a creative project for me to capture what my life really is like. And this is part of what my life really is like. Sometimes I can't be in front of the camera. I mean, this is like, people talk about this all the time, like autistic struggle of being perceived. Well, this is it in real time. So please enjoy the rest of this audio only video. So yeah, so I was talking about the ADHD meds that just couldn't quite work out well for me because of the side effects. And I kind of decided, I thought about maybe just like not taking meds at all and just kind of like going, non-med therapy only type tools to like manage my symptoms while I'm kind of on this like greater trauma healing healthcare plan journey for myself. But it kind of got to a point where I just couldn't really manage the symptoms without meds. So I kind of went back to my prescriber and was interested in doing a different option. And then she suggested the Wellbutrin, the antidepressant route. And I really hadn't thought about that. I kind of was thinking like some other type of ADHD med that might work better or something, because I had only tried the Adderall and the Strattera, but I hadn't tried Ritalin or Vyvanse. But I'm really glad that she made that suggestion, because I guess Wellbutrin is a common off-label ADHD med that people will take if they can't handle the side effects from the stimulants, which I didn't know. So, yeah, I mean, again, this is day one. Perhaps once I sleep and wake up, I might feel differently or I might notice some side effects, but so far, pretty good. I would say the Wellbutrin really helps with my mood. Whereas the Adderall, I think, really targets like thinking speed. Like, I feel like I can think through things a lot faster. But outside of that, it just didn't feel like something I could take like every day. It's like, it just felt like it was too much, even though I was taking a pretty low dose. In addition to like the side effects that I was having. But even if I didn't have those side effects, I think it would be hard. It just felt like it was hard to like take that every day. I don't know. It just felt like a bit too much. Oh, you know what? I think I was really hot too. That could have been part of the issue. I just felt like really overwhelmed, overstimulated, a bit too much with the camera. Feeling better. Yeah, and the Wellbutrin, like, it just really helps with mood in terms of, how would I describe it? I think Wellbutrin is also can be prescribed in addition to an antidepressant for people who are trying to quit smoking. So I think it's also something that can be used for impulse control. And yeah, I would say that I definitely noticed that. And I think that's probably like one of the bigger things that it helps with the ADHD symptom management is that it makes it a lot easier to, it makes it a lot more manageable dealing with impulse control. Like kind of that, I literally would have, I used the words, the way that I described it was I didn't feel like I have the anguishing internal struggle. That's like how I felt when I didn't have it, when I didn't wasn't take like literally yesterday before I started this medication. Just this like constant feeling of this internal struggle of just, and I think that a lot of that is like that impulse like control, like trying to control this urge to want to just get up and move and do other things and just not try to get myself to do something, like just kind of letting your mind just be sort of free and just kind of chaotic, whatever, not trying to rein that in, not trying to like rein in your thoughts to be able to control them in a like, like a everyday type of productive manner. I just found that I just felt just exhausted all day. Like I woke up and it was like I just immediately just got hit with this like exhaustion, this mental like anguish. I don't know, just like I think part of that was also driving like this constant like tension I would hold in my body, like this gripping kind of like sensation that also made like chronic pain issues difficult, like just this constant like tension I would hold in my body to just like try to manage my life without meds. Like that's how it felt. Like I'm just like kind of like pushing my way through life and just like gripping my way through trying to deal with symptoms and like trying to get my thoughts like in some kind of organized fashion to be able to do things like tasks and like take care of myself and have a job and like do other things, and just and not even I'm not even just talking about like tasks, like doing, this, that, and the other, but like that really plays a role in managing your emotions too. And like executive function, I feel like a lot of times when we talk about it, people tend to just focus on like the task, like ability to like do tasks and organize your your to-do list and like think about time management. But executive function like really impacts your ability to manage your symptom, like manage your emotions too. Like emotion regulation it requires executive functioning. That's the other side of ADHD that I feel like is often overlooked. It's not just about like task reduction or time blindness. It's being able to process and regulate your emotions too, and that's a big part of that. And I don't think I realized how much that was affecting me until today when I took the antidepressant, and I didn't feel like that was nearly as bad. It just like it didn't blunt it, it didn't like numb it. It just made it so much more manageable. And yeah, I mean, I think meds can be really useful as part of managing your symptoms, but I'm not looking at it as a way to like replace things that I'm already doing. Like I'm still going to therapy and doing all of the other things that I do to lead a healthy, like help, like living a life that works well for me and is not unhealthy. I still have to do all of those things. It's just that now that I have like a medication that works well, it just makes all the other things so much more manageable to do. And it just makes it so much yeah, I don't know. I guess manageable is the best. Like, I'm happy with manageable, I guess is what I'm saying. Like, that's how much I was struggling, is like, if I can find a medication that can make life manageable, I am really happy with that. Cuz that really just goes to show how much I was struggling, like how much lower than managing I was, like even with the therapy, even with like journaling, doing, all these things like uh exercise, eating well, making sure I'm drinking enough water, getting outside, meditating, you know, taking magnesium, taking supplements, taking herbal supplements for sleep, and like being really conscientious of like everything else. But it's all of this effort that I was putting in was still like, I was still struggling so much. And having the medication just makes everything else so much more manageable, that yeah, I just really wanted to like talk about that. And I think medication is a a very personal choice. And I just wanted to talk about that because I think that I think it's a common thing with medication, especially like prescription medications for things that you're gonna deal with for the rest of your life. And it's like kind of a decision that you have to make about like what you value in life. Do you want to live a life where you can manage your symptoms without medication, like not rely on it? Or do you feel okay with relying on medication? That can be hard. That can be a hard decision to make. But I have my journal here, and I wish I was on a day where I could be on camera, but I just couldn't today. So but I wanted to read something that I had in my journal. I started this particular journal, I guess it must have been either 2017 or 2018, I think, right around that time. And the first page I wrote was the 4 most important things I learned about health, medicine, therapy, and treatment options. And I wanted to read it because I felt like it is relevant to the topic about medication. And kind of, if you're at a point where you ever feel like you're not sure if you want to take medication or not, the first thing that I wrote about the 4 things that I feel like I've learned about like health and medicine is that there's no reward in suffering. And I guess what I mean by that is, like, I think sometimes it's really easy to mix in morality with whether or not you want to take medication. Like whether you or not you feel like you want to be the kind of person that relies on medication. It's like, it's not I just don't think that is something that like you should judge yourself on. Like, take morality out of it and just focus on your health. Like, try to be objective about it as opposed to adding some kind of value system. Like you're this type of person. Like, it's not, I don't know. I find that when you're talking about health, take politics out of it. Take morality out of it. You're not any type of person because you do this or that. Unless it's like something that's hurting someone else, then there's no need to judge yourself one way or the other if it's something that's helping or not. I think the question is more whether or not it helps, and not necessarily like whether or not I don't know. I just feel like when you think of it in terms of like if you're relying on a medication, that somehow you're like weaker, or like you're, I don't know, like unhealthy somehow. There's like some kind of unhealthy judgment. And I deal with it too. Sometimes I think to myself, like, will I one day like not need medication? Like, is that better somehow? Like, I guess I guess you could say that not needing it means that there's no health need for it, so therefore I might be, healthier from that perspective. But just because you're taking it doesn't necessarily mean that you're leading an unhealthy life. That could be part of what health looks like for you in your life. So yeah, I guess I just mean, like, you don't get a reward just because you're suffering through something, and like there's no nobility in it. It's just made up. So if you're suffering, you're suffering. That's time in your life that you're not going to get back. And if a medication helps give you time in your life, then that's good. I think it's just a matter of whether or not it helps you, So just try to think of it like that, and try to take judgment and morality out of it. So that's the first thing that I wrote. The four most important things I learned about health, medicine, therapy, and treatment options. That's number one. There's no reward in suffering. Number two, I wrote, was that it takes will to change something in your life, but sometimes it takes medicine to provide the opportunity for effort to thrive. So I guess that kind of goes along with the whole, like, there's no reward for how long you suffer in your life. Sometimes the medicine can help provide you the platform to make the other more permanent things that you would need to do, to like therapy or other tools that you would learn and implement in your life that you can use to alter your life long term, permanently. Sometimes medicine can just help you on that journey, kind of bridge that gap. So that's a function that medicine can provide. The third thing I wrote is kind of about drugs in general, not necessarily about prescription drugs, but just all drugs in general, which kind of goes along with the morality thing of, not thinking of drugs as inherently bad, but thinking of drugs in terms of, like, it's not that the drug is bad. It's that if you're wasting your time with the drug, then that's bad. It's not about, like, the drug itself. It's about how it's being used in your life. So that's the third thing that I wrote about drugs. And the fourth thing that I wrote was meaningfulness, fulfillment, or happiness, or like whatever it is that you want to call, like, or God, I guess, or, spirituality, that thing that's, like, bigger than us. Like the main thing of life, the meaningfulness of it, I guess. Whatever it is that you call that thing. To me, I think that thing is a verb as opposed to, like, a noun or, like, a place. And what I mean by that is, like, if you're looking to build or, like, get a sense of, like, meaningfulness in your life, or, like, connection to something greater, or, like, tap into, like, your, I don't know, whatever God looks like to you, whether you're religious or not religious, or looking for, like, that fulfillment, I think that's a thing that you need to maintain, like, a little bit every day. It's a verb. It's a thing that has to be maintained. It's not like a thing that you unlock and then you just have that thing forever. It's not a place where you show up and then you get to just be there and then that's it. Like, it's an action. It's like health, it's like going to the gym, or like taking care of your health. It's like all the little actions that need to be taken, that you have to maintain throughout your life in order to have that. So I think fulfillment and happiness and kind of that greater sense of purpose it works the same way. It's not like a thing that you're like like, oh, one day I'll get there and then I'll just feel it. Like, no, you're getting there, and that's the beauty of it. It's the journey. It's the getting there. You're already experiencing it. You're just experiencing a little part of that, and you get to experience a little part of that every single day, and you're building it and maintaining it. And then you get to like build more of that, you know? So it's not like a thing where you have it one day in the future at like 100%. You know, like maybe you're working at like 20% fulfillment right now, and like bit by bit you can start building that up over time. But like you're already doing it. You're maintaining that amount of like fulfillment or happiness or like deeper connection. It's just a thing that has to be maintained day by day, I guess is what I mean to say by that. So that's my video about medication, drugs, you know, what have you. So yeah. Oh man, that was a rough one. Sorry about that. Yeah, I don't know if this is gonna be like a permanent thing where I just like can't make videos anymore. I do a lot better with like voice only, I guess, but if you managed to make it through this video, congratulations, and thanks for watching, and I hope you're doing well and on your journey to taking care of yourself. So thanks for watching.